You got everything packed, Itzay?
Bard! Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I know I'm supposed to have headed out already.
Yeah, I was going to ask, why are you still hanging around here?
Well, I was thinking, you always get a lot of tragic tales from the worlds you've traveled to. And I was thinking maybe just before I go, I could leave you with a positive one. One last campfire story?
Well, I suppose I can't refuse a good story. What you thinking?
It's about a young woman with big dreams and aspirations.
I see where this is going.
Oh, just play along for old time's sake.
Hey, I wasn't complaining. About time you talked a bit more highly about yourself.
Am I the one telling the story or you?
Fine, go on.
Don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. You were staring at the window, and I said, I wanna take you to the sea. And when I'm better, we'll do everything. I gotta stop making promises I can't keep. But if I was gone tomorrow, won't the waves crash on? Is it selfish that I'm happy as we pass the setting sun? Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry, 'cause we'll do the grieving while I'm by your side. I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. And I'm so scared of getting used to this. All the vines that keep you tethered in your room. Well, someday both of us are leaving here, but for now I'll just bring this sea to you. Will you meet me in the daylight like we did before? Then I felt you on my shoulder, and you weren't suffering anymore. You said, I'm sorry that you worried, but don't apologize. I told you to forget me, but you stayed by my side when I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, and when we're gone, everything goes on.
There was a fire in her heart, one of a burning passion to create some of the most memorable experiences. After a devastating hospital visit that left her bedridden for a couple days, frail, weakened, and remembering how to walk without being afraid of falling, she left work. A foolish decision that she regrets in the present day, but when she's older, I'm sure she will realize this was the right decision. At the end of the day, if she never quit work, she wouldn't have all the amazing friends she does today. Cardiologist in current day thinks it was a stroke, but she still has many doctors to visit to actually confirm that. They say if you have borderline personality disorder, it's unlikely that you'll make it to your 30s for multiple reasons. So if I wasn't gonna make it for some reason, I at least wanted to try streaming for myself. Content creation has always been a soft spot for me, and a huge dream even since I was like 13. Happiness is such a hard thing to find for myself with my disorder. I think oftentimes I only experience the illusion of being happy, given that without my conscious input, I am influenced by the emotions of others. In reality, I have to spend extended periods of time finding the words and really understanding what I'm feeling. Creating is a fantastic medium for that, since everything can be abstract, thematic, and have deep meaning without many words. I know most people probably know me for the unhinged amounts of hours I'll stream in one sitting. At least that's what I think, anyways. I hope some will remember me for the things like Mabinogi and Murder Mystery. My pride and joy was pouring a lot of my energy into these projects. I honestly could not count the amount of times I had forgotten to eat or sleep. Sometimes I was just too excited to sleep. I don't know. Practically every event premiere, I would not sleep the night before because I was too ecstatic, and my mind was just racing to let it just be the hour already. Oh, oops. I was supposed to keep it in the third-person perspective.
You're talking about yourself. Why does the POV need to be in third person?
Doesn't it being in third person make it a little bit more immersive of a story, though?
Yeah, not necessarily. Anyways, what got you to decide on streaming Mabby?
Probably Naya Dako, if I'm honest. I always enjoyed how chill Naya's streams were during the hospital stays and days at home. Through watching Naya, I eventually got to watching others too, like Shrade. Crazy to think how things turned out now, huh?
Well, things were a lot different for us back then, yeah?
Absolutely. The community was rather small at the time. I remember when you were talking to me and another creator friend about starting up, and I'm really glad you did. I hope my professionalism didn't intimidate you. I was very nervous to make friends with anybody.
No, it didn't intimidate me. There was something unique about getting organized together. Back then, a lot of people just did things with their own sort of flow and pace, so having to adhere to a schedule was a nice way to put a fire under my butt, at least.
But from the Mabby side, you were the one I met first out of everybody in the group. Also the first one on the team from the Twitch side. You've also been one of my biggest supporters for the longest time, and I'm glad we're still friends to this day. But I'm getting carried away, sorry. Here to not be sappy like this. Where were we?
I believe you were starting to get into what brought about the idea of Mabinogi.
Right, thank you. Mabinogi, once upon a time, started out as a little goal to say thank you to a bunch of the creators around the community. I specifically wanted to highlight as many people as I could, but also trying to keep it, keep the scope somewhat realistic. 30 creators featured was definitely a lot, and so was getting a hold of everyone. I appreciate those who always reached out on my behalf. It's really difficult to try and message creators much bigger than you, especially in their own niche. This was my way of giving back, as a sort of thank you for all the hours of comfort during the months of recovery after the stroke. It was a grueling time period of my life. It is a bit weird to think that it's been about 3 years now. Anyway, obviously, collab and Inogi is a playoff of Mabinogi's name. The idea was to make it so that it was one award per person, as it was always apparent in most award showcases that it was a popularity contest. You'd have people that would win like multiple awards and things, and I feel like that never really makes sense for a community showcase. It should be more broad and encompassing than that. On the other hand, though, trying to come up with so many different awards that felt different from each other and not specific to any one creator was really hard. I feel like everybody should celebrate their achievements at the end of the year, so oh well. While none of the award shows were perfect by far, and I mean from the countless tech errors, forgetting to play clips, or straight up missing half of the audio on one VOD, they are still products of so much time, love, and effort poured into them. Despite the periods of depression I battled, the countless software crashes, and just every mishap under the sun. Come January, the show still arrives. Admittedly, I think I surprised myself quite often. I'm known for working myself like a machine, but half the time I do not know where my drive or motivation even comes from. I did definitely set the bar really high once Mabinogi 2024 had concluded, and subsequently with 2025 and 2026, I strive to do better than the previous year. Going back to the very start of Mabinogi, though. I remember messaging Fire, my brand artist. Not only a longtime friend, but also someone who believes in all my crazy projects. I don't know how she puts up with me half the time, but I am eternally grateful for her taking a chance on every crazy project I ramble about. I asked for her help concepting an award post dress, and I remember detailing a lot of specifics for the PNG. I was worried that I was driving her crazy. Nonetheless, though, she came up with something beautiful and even incorporated earrings in the shape of my little bunny charm. I still love that PNG so much. It's such a beautiful pink champagne. I wish I could have one like that in real life one day. Then it came time for drafting the award lists themselves and creating the Google form. This was one of the most stressful things. I hate that form so much. It is absolutely one of my least favorite parts of the workload. There are always typos or something is slightly out of order. My brain moves a lot faster than my hands do, even when scripting and honestly playing games too. My reaction speed has been quite inconsistent, so I do apologize if some things were misspelled or if creator handles were incorrectly listed in graphics during a showcase. It happens all the time and I probably won't catch it until it's way past. It is what it is. The awards themselves have also adapted over the years. I tried to make things that made more sense, like moderator got removed as more people started to have mods that weren't other content creators. Not that our mods aren't also worth celebrating. This event is just specifically focused on the creators, and if I add more folks, I was gonna be there all night. The event already started to get really close to 8 hours long by 2026. Every script was handwritten, and the awards were adjusted as I felt necessary. I normally do not show the scripts, but since this is the end of the chapter for me, I don't mind showing a bit behind the curtain. It did become formatted a bit formulaic, but that's kind of to be expected with me. Anyone on the team could tell you, I very much have a style I like to do projects in once I've gotten really comfortable with them. Also just the sheer ambition of wanting everything to be bigger and better. Here's a cute little PowerPoint the team and I had put together at one point to discuss plans for the 2026 subathon fundraiser. Which, yeah, we did have team meetings on big projects, even if I do take the burden of a hefty amount of workload. They help a lot with the technical aspects, communication, and organization of things that drive me insane. I also had volunteers that assisted aspects of the project that were not something I could easily do myself. But yeah, Mabinogi 2023 was the start of everything with Mabinogi for me. After a while, I got inspiration for a new idea. Something inspired by one of my favorite franchises as a teenager, Danganronpa. If you're not super familiar, to boil it down really simply, Danganronpa is a murder mystery style detective game. You play as a protagonist who gets trapped in a school with no way out, and you're told by the mastermind little bear guy that if you want to escape, you have to commit murder and get away with it. It was a wild ride and probably not something I should have played in my early teens, but it was such a riveting story with many twists and turns to keep you engaged. I kind of couldn't stop playing it. I wanted to create something like that for Mabinogi, as the idea of being a Molestion meant, in theory, death with no consequences. The first 2 episodes of Murder Mystery didn't really have any overarching narrative substance to them, as I wasn't sure on that front, and I didn't know if many people would be interested enough to continue participating. Maybe that was kind of my own self-doubt or naivety in thinking, you know, nobody would enjoy something so silly, but clearly in current day I was proven wrong. I remember being super shy about asking Shrade if he would be the very first victim of the series. Part of this decision was sheerly the fact that I was a huge fan of his, but I also wanted to work with a lot of the people I was starting to become friends with in the community. The creator community Discord at one point was rather small in its upbringing, so a lot of people did communicate on closer terms. And I thought this would be another fun way for everybody to get together once a month, even if it wasn't anything major or a huge celebratory showcase. It could be a fun project to keep us all connected. I had a really firm belief that in small doses, if the community stayed together, it could be stronger than anything. As creators, I'd like to hold the naive belief that our work has helped the broader Mabinogi community become closer. Anyways, the premise for episode 1 was kind of simple. Shrade was theoretically celebrating his 5,000 follower milestone, which I'm sure he'll reach someday, and he invited many of his friends over to celebrate. However, during the party, someone discovered that Shrade was murdered on the balcony of his mansion, which then spawned a whole investigative scene of trying to find out who the murderer was, since no one who entered the party had left the scene of the crime, so it definitely had to be one of the guests. I did not imagine the amount of support I was going to garner would be as much as it was, and I'm still extremely grateful to everyone who turned up and would continue to do so. It was so much fun writing many of these, and a lot of silly inside jokes among the cast would turn up here and there, as well as a lot of other individuals who participated. And I did try to incorporate a lot of little Easter eggs here and there. In the end, another creator was falsely convicted with Schrade's murder, and Lizzie proudly admitted to the crime of killing Schrade. She would celebrate by selling his Divine Blade and buying a lifetime supply of Fanta. Everyone that participated in Murder Mystery has done a fantastic job with the voice acting. Genuinely, there were some extremely heartfelt or intense roleplay moments that came out of these theoretical scenarios, and it was amazing. It makes me hopeful that in the future, I know there are people that I can contact for voice acting projects. This is the point in time where I would say I started to meet a majority of the individuals who are now some of my lifelong friends and team members in making some chaotic pieces of content or fantastical projects. Speaking of, hey Lumi.
Itzay, Bard!
Lumi, it's good to see you.
So today's the day, huh? When you finally head through that door into another world?
It should have been a couple hours ago, technically, but I really wanted to have one last campfire with my favorite people in the whole world. I think I was just nervous to ask if everybody would be able to make it on time.
Itzay, you know we will all find the time.
No, I know. I just don't want to bother anybody. Besides, I already said my goodbyes after I transformed on the lake the other night.
All you had to do was ask.
Well, you guys are here now. Bart and I were just recapping my story so far. I think we just started to get to Murder Mystery. Was there anything either of you two wanted to share about season 1 of the series?
I'll go first, since, well, episode 2 was my episode. There was something raw and fun at the beginning of the series, seeing the narrative form within the episodes as the style and scale shifted as the series went on. It was always a pleasure to see how things would unfold in the end, even if I wasn't able to be around for every subsequent episode.
For me, it was my first time doing a video collaboration project like that, ever. Prior to joining, I was in the middle of developing and creating other models since I have the whole identity crisis thing, but I wasn't confident enough to use them unless it was in some sort of storytelling format, which is naturally why I limited myself to Halloween. So, being a part of Murder Mystery was so exhilarating for me, not just as an aspiring voice actor, but as a video editor too. With each episode, I always tried to improve or fix my recordings, such as the green screen or sound quality, and I don't think I would have reached that kind of resolve so quickly without your invitation, Itzay. Not to mention, I got to be a part of a story with my friends. Even though they were murdering each other. You do realize we're just as guilty, little light.
Speaking of the gremlin from earlier, I see you in the bushes over there, Lizzie.
Hey, peeping out of bushes is my thing. But hi,
Sorry. You know I am a cheese mother. Is that Daddy Bard?
Oh, goodness. Hi, Lizzie.
Come join us around the campfire, Mama. We were just talking about the stuff we enjoyed for Murder Mystery Season 1.
Ooh. With season 1, I like that I murder Shrey, take his weapon gear, and sell it so I can do my Fanta heist.
Wait a damn second. Is that time fishing at our last campfire?
Itzay, come on. It's a nice story to listen to while fishing. It's relaxing.
How long have you been listening?
Since the beginning.
Did you plan all of this?
Of course!
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
I was just fishing. Yeah.
Well, fine then. You can get put in the hot seat 2 time. What were some of your favorite things about Season 1 of Murder Mystery?
Let me think. If I had to say one thing that comes to mind, it had to be the greatest Fanta heist of the century. Lizzie murdering Schrade was the start of it all.
Well, if there are no mysterious surprises left.
Father Rados, do you really think your little blessings can save everyone? I hope you are prepared for my grand arrival in Urin. The goddess of chaos is going to be present for this next blood sport. I trust you will gather the guests accordingly for me. If not, you can all pay the price once again.
Murder Mystery was the start of a magnum opus project that would never see its proper ending. Season 1 started the kind of thematics and motifs I tried to incorporate in the format as it currently was. The first season was all victims that were friends with Lumina, hence why Lumi broke down at the end of the season and started to lash out violently. There is an intended flow of the story, something that isn't fully conveyed since I liked using MMDs and animations, is that Lumina tried to be kind to who at this time we think is Dion. Later, it's confirmed not to be her, instead a puppet in the grand scheme of things. Itzay and Lumina go ahead and do a calling ritual to see if the goddess would answer their calls and find some way to appease her, since the Molestians being murdered in such a public fashion is causing a lot of chaos and unease in Aaron. Murder Mystery does lightly parallel some brutal and traumatic experiences I've had in my teenage years and in my early adulthood. It's something that wouldn't be recognized as I was still learning how to write an interpretive story. What was supposed to be unveiled here is that once someone is in a bad situation where they've been conditioned to think a certain way, is that communication isn't going to be met with openness like you think. Lumina attempting to communicate with Dion on even grounds obviously goes poorly, as this puppet is already under the spell of a goddess. It wouldn't be any level of reasonable communication. The victims of Season 1 being Shrade, E.R.G, Lizzie, Rados, and myself feels entirely accurate for the course. Rados being there as Lumina's greatest op. Lo and behold, him attempting to use her to commit tax fraud was foiled by his actual tragic death. I'm eternally grateful to everyone who's participated and helped this series come to life. I'm also very grateful to those who really embraced and respected my vision for the series. It's not often you find folks who want to see your vision come true. Lumina certainly shined really brightly, with all of her different personalities coming through in the moments where she was starting to crack under all the pressure. I'm happy we got more Siren, Jelly, and Jester content. At the time, we didn't get much of them unless it was Halloween, so this was a really sweet treat around the times when it happened. Everyone else's reactions to the chaos was also priceless. That night of the Season 1 finale was just perfect. Thank you to Time, Lizzie, and Bard for always having been a Day 1 supporter. The three of you made a lot of these possible. More than you'll ever realize. Concepting Violet was also quite tricky. Her name was Violet. Not only did she don purple attire because of this, but also she was primarily a dark diviner, and I wanted to mirror that in some way, especially considering later puppets would follow in design philosophy. Her eyes weren't naturally purple. This just indicated that she had Dion's mark and could be possessed at any time. Her eyes were naturally red, but I'll elaborate on that a lot more extensively when I talk about Season 3. Her being sexy wasn't to get the audience to be attracted to her. It was more of a statement on the nature of the abuse I underwent in the years of me being a young adult. Even the way she acted as a character was performative to how she actually is as an individual. When I say mirrors, this would be mirroring how I had to act in certain situations to survive or to make it through rough periods with my abuser. But again, as I was still learning how to write an interpretive story, this stuff was probably a poor choice in hindsight, and one that left me feeling further uncomfortable. It was about 2 years ago now, though, since that season aired. I'd go back and change it if I could, but we wouldn't be here now, so I'm not sure if I would commit to a decision like that. She does have a tragic backstory that explains more of that in what was supposed to be Season 3. Regardless, I still look back at some of these moments from time to time in awe because I still remember how fun and energizing it was to create something so wonderful. As I've always said, these will probably be memories I'll carry with me for a lifetime. This is also where even more wonderful people came into the picture.
You called?
Really, Rixie? Only here to bully me more, huh?
Nah, I had to be here for the celebration. Besides, I already got you at the award show.
Look, we don't talk about that.
Aw, Itzay, but it's all true.
I mean, I don't want to hear it. You also psyoped me.
Aww, is Widow Itzay embarrassed?
It's a you do need to get better about recognizing your own achievements, you know?
Yeah. I'm doing my best, okay? It's still hard for me with everything that's happened.
It'll come with time.
I'm being trolled so hard right now. Well, since you are here now, Rishi, what's one of your favorite things about Murder Mystery Season 1?
Definitely
second award show rolled around sometime in the middle of the first season of Murder Mystery. I decided January was a better time frame for something like this, so this Collabinogi actually came around 5 to 6 months after the previous one. I wanted to go really ambitious with this one. I did a community fundraiser where I played an absurd amount of hours of Mabinogi in such a short period of time. I think I did one 18-hour consecutive live stream, and then there was a 57-ish hour live stream that was ongoing for quite a while. Oh, jeez. I played through G23, 24, and part of 25. Still never got around to finishing 25. It is basically just Yapinogi at that point. But we did hit the fundraising goals. I was actually so surprised by this. It was weird to think about at some points. I got the dream collaboration of a lifetime. I got to work with Fire and Char on bringing my dress to life from the previous year onto a 3D model. I'm still so happy with how my girl turned out. Pink champagne dress is just so fluffy. I really do hope someday I could own a dress like this in real life. It is truly one of the best outfits. I wish it was a real item in game. I know we'll see more of it down the line at some point. This is also when I started to try something new, which was Miku Miku Dance, or MMD. This is the software I use for all those dances with many VTubers throughout the community event every year. 2024 Collabinogi was the very first year I ever used it in any capacity. It definitely had quite a steep learning curve, I'll say that. Everyone appreciates my work now, and I'm grateful nonetheless. However, I definitely cringe looking back at the old ones, and spend a lot of time debating remastering them, which I know I'll never have enough time for. I've just learned so much in the current day. At the time though, I was learning the kinks of the software, how often it crashed, learning about model conversions, how to cut and erase certain layers to avoid clipping, and also how to adjust the camera to fit tall models. Because Lumina's model is, well, very tall, let's just say. I also got to work with Rixie, Mappy Nerd, and Lon on making parody songs. Wild to think that these folks I'd go on to work with for many more years. The very first year we picked out More and Paranoia from League of Legends to parody. Paranoia had dropped like a month or so before the project started, and it just felt so right. Thus, the Mappy Stars project was born. The girls group was called E.R.G, after the actual upgrade mechanic E.R.G, if that wasn't obvious, and Nightbringers for the guys. We themed both songs after their respective band names, since this would be their debut songs. While I cringe to death at my own voice, I will admit these songs hold a special place in my heart because of how absolutely fun it was to work on with everybody. I will never forget the nights of staying up until 4 a.m. to try and look over the MMD, getting to chat with Lumi and Lon, or crack jokes with Time and Rixie. It was such a fun project, and while I may not be hosting Collabinogi anymore, I hope to do more music-related stuff in the future, as I think it would be super fun. Everybody absolutely killed it on the track, and all the memes that came out of these MMD music videos were fantastic too. 2024 was the first of so many things. The community segment was also filled with so much wonderful content due to these side projects, and the amount of creators that submitted speeches was astronomical. I felt so connected and involved with the wider community. It also felt like a dream made reality. Being an award show host was such a fulfilling role in so many ways. I take pride in writing speeches and trying to ensure that the creator feels seen and honored properly. I do wish I could write something super lengthy for everyone, but I've tried to keep it brief where I can and let loose a bit in the Wonder Award speeches. It's certainly difficult, and sometimes I have worried if I've accidentally said the same things, but please know that even if I have, I still mean them just as much. And that doesn't take away from the value that you brought to the community. 2024 was probably the year of peak for Collabinogi. It was my personal favorite year. It felt fun still, and it wasn't feeling like the massive workload that it is now. It was all in all still a passion project.
You've always done a good job, Bean.
Lenny?
Papito Lenny, where's my galaxy milk?
Welcome in, Lenny.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Hi, Lizzie.
It's kind of emotional seeing us all here together like this, I can't lie.
Is it?
Well, yeah, it isn't really often that we all get in on something. Plus, it feels nerve-wracking, I guess, to watch as everyone gets together to see me off to the next world. You know I'll miss you all, right? Doesn't it make it harder to say goodbye?
Oh, that would depend on how you take it.
Itzay.
What?
Well,
Oh, you're right, Bard, sorry. What was everyone's favorite moment of Collabinogi 2024?
I wasn't around much in 2024 just because of life reasons, but It was awesome getting to watch the community grow from a distance and seeing how those who were here also grew in that time before coming back.
Not gonna lie, I think my favorite bit was Strayed winning the famous award. It was also the first time hearing everyone's acceptance speeches for their awards. It was very heartwarming.
My favorite moment for the Mabinogi 2024 was all the animation and everybody work together, that we all have fun. It's nice seeing everybody, in there all together.
Oh gosh, the Nightbringer's debut was so nerve-wracking.
My favorite moment? I wasn't even there. I was locked away in a...
I'm only going to mention positive parts of Season 2 due to being uncomfortable with some individuals that severely violated boundaries and have spread misinformation regarding my traumatic experiences. Season 2 was, at its inception, a lot of hype and aura when it arrived. The mysterious goddess was revealed, and it sparked a lot of intrigue surrounding her backstory, and I was extremely excited to start putting together the groundwork for future seasons. To anyone that knew, I carried around a very small notebook that I often liked to write in. Gosh. I remember in LA when Nexon flew us out, Rixie and I had talked for hours on end about the lore and the storyboarding process behind Murder Mystery. He probably thought I was crazy, but did listen to me ramble for hours on end about every little intricate detail. We had planned a story arc for Firelight, the character, and tried to give him a more complex angle. Someone that I'd probably classify as an anti-villain rather than a hero per se. Firelight would agree to work with Dion's wishes under the promise that she could bring him something in return. Something no one else could, bringing his other half to Aaron. This was delivered in a contract. With providing little to no indication about it, Firelight simply rearranged the contract how he preferred it and declared that there would be consequences for treachery. Lumina was still missing since the incident where she transformed into Siren and devoured an entire building of her friends. What wasn't publicly known is that Lumina was pulled onto the mysterious island where she would meet with Violet, and the next puppet we would come to discover in the story. Thus, we begin at episode 5, the start of season 2. Holy Lou was the victim, and boy, what an interesting turn of events this was. Holy was supposed to be organizing an at-home gym instructor class to teach all his Moleshian friends how to stay fit and active during downtime from adventuring. A very noble idea, if only Dion's gaze wasn't still hovering over the Moleshians. Working on this case was quite funny for a few reasons. Poor Holy. The audience thought and was very, very obsessed with the idea that Holy had somehow accidentally poisoned himself. It was certainly an interesting conspiracy with the idea that Holy poisoned the Fanta for everyone to drink and either forgot or mistakenly drank it himself. Since Holy started to feel sick in the kitchen and later ended up in the living room dead, they believed it had to be poison since accelerating his heart rate during the exercise class likely sped up the process. And when I tell you that I did not think this far ahead, yeah, this was funny to me in hindsight. Man, was it entertaining though to watch everyone continuously blame Holy for his actions though. Despite knowing that he didn't do it himself, Holy was somehow convinced that he had actually managed to poison himself, and this led to his demise. Earlier, when the Maletians prayed to Neo, well, let's see that someone was definitely dancing with the puppet of the goddess and essentially betraying their own team, but, you know, it is what it is. There's a couple hints sprinkled through these episodes that Violet is potentially the mother of the newsboy, Yahtzee. There's also a very in-depth implications that Manon McLear is the father of the newsboy, given his somewhat Fomorian appearance. It seems that Lumina has also been split across her multiple personalities potentially, and they may have their own bodies now, given that Jester announces her presence here. Lumina also did get a job as a temporary replacement for the newsboy. There's a lot of things that happened in Season 2. Across the main episodes of this season, we get a lot more context as to some details surrounding Violet. She can in fact invade everyone's mind. She isn't fully in control half the time. She also has fought Dion herself before she made Lumina the promise of bringing her back home. From here, it's kind of hard to tell what kind of character she is exactly, but we do know that she isn't entirely in control of her actions, and she is in fact a mere puppet of the goddess like the rest of us have been. Probably the craziest thing to come out of Season 2 is Scarlet makes her appearance, yet another puppet of the goddess who looks very similar, akin to Violet. Scarlet in turn asks the audience if they have any questions for her, to which we find that she's certainly got more free will and speaking privileges than her counterpart. Ketch is still alive and, well, seemingly surviving the incident from Saga 2, in which we believed she was slain.
You know, honestly, even if it wasn't in the cards, I could see Holy accidentally drinking his own poison.
Like you too?
Hello!
Everyone is really coming out of the woodworks, huh?
It's sad, as we will miss the chance to bully you.
Yeah, sounds about right. Well, what about Season 2? What were some of your favorite moments?
With Season 2, it really felt like the story was getting its natural footing. The episodes strung together more coherently, and the introduction of animations to every episode, at least following the finale of Season 1, helped to really sell certain moments, as well as following the growth and creativity in the process itself was something to behold.
Honestly, Holy getting gaslit by Chad to think he was his own murderer was really funny. And learning more about Dion and her backstory was pretty hype too. I wasn't able to partake in Season 2 too much since I decided not to attend the parties, but I was very happy to be involved where I could.
Season 2. The season where we learned how bad of detectives us Militians really are. I'm not sure we solved a single case.
Having a flawless record across the whole season was pretty nice. It looks good on a resume. I had to send the message that being security isn't as easy as it seems, and what happened to, well, everyone in the Season 1 finale wasn't my fault. I think the message was received. I still can't believe we pulled it off so well that one of the victims was gaslit into thinking he got himself.
For Murder Mystery, I was actually really impressed seeing this kind of creativity in like a Twitch show. It was kind of new to me to see that kind of show. I thought it was really sick, and then I got to help out by voicing Manananan, you know, our daddy man. That was really fun. Seeing how people reacted to the voice acting. It was really satisfying. It was such a fun experience.
God, that was a while ago. Thinking back on it, I think seeing people voting for me as the killer was funny to watch. I was in the episode where Holy was the one killed, if I remember correctly. It was a sad day. May Holy's soul live on in our hearts and memories. Wait, Holy isn't dead? Oh,
부리소나 호돈이 한 내로 신소 Cry 해키쇼 해키쇼 미니미니 맘들 잠깐은 break up 흑클램보 때려서는 기모치 가요 클릭이지 너 부르부르 빛 같다는 이와 이봐야 시가 설리는 주사 더블 카스타 같다 나치야 다루마니 데이도 사랑하다 빛 같다는 이와 이봐야 시가 설리는 주사 더블 카스타 같다 나치야 우리는 butterfly
Mabinogi 2025 is the next event in line, and man did this one set the bar even higher for the event itself. Which is totally my own fault. There's nobody else to blame here. I just wanted to make it bigger and better. I don't know. We had 20 or so MMD performances, 3 new parody songs, and so many award winners. It was an absolutely fun night. Violet, having been such a huge part of the past year of content, self-invited herself to be my co-host, which was certainly an interesting addition. Both of our dresses designed and textured by Fire, while modeled, rigged, and put together by Char. These two really do make a lot of dreams come true, and the dresses fit wonderfully with the themes for the evening: light in the abyss, the golden gleaming light, and the overwhelming darkness of the abyss. The idea for the theme not only is based in Crom Boss, as this is the title earned for completing the dungeon at the highest level, but also because of its meaning within that title. The true reason this was chosen is to express my desire to find hope in the darkness. Navigating late 2024 through 2025 was probably one of the darkest years of my life. It's somewhat publicly known that I battle with my disorder consistently, but also my physical health makes a lot of things complicated. As selfish as that may sound, I wanted to inspire hope in others, but I also wanted to inspire hope in myself as well. Thus, Light in the Abyss was the winning theme. I also had recently been on a huge kick of running Crom with some of the team. Cooked Crom was certainly a highlight of Wednesday nights for a while.
I'm a little monster. I'm a little monster. Can you be my heartbeat? Ay, boom, 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 boom. Can you be my baby? Ay, ooh, 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 ooh. I know. 在你心里一定认为我们非常的般配。我想你做我女朋友，我想。
my own moves. And don't judge you, cause I'm way far from you. I'm an unstoppable rocket going straight to the moon. Cause my heart is burning, burning, burning. So but that is burning, burning, burning. And I will say I'm gonna put that ego. It's how I go through the day. My heart is burning, burning, so burning. Lolly, 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 lolly. 하루가 멀다 하고 설레이는데 lolly, 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 lolly. 기다리고 있잖아, baby.
Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Now number 5. I never wanna hear you say, woo! I want it that way.
Body say 누가 우리 부른다면 yes it's super fast. 누가 우리 만난다면 yes it's super nice. 누가 봐도 우리 yes stronger than Superman. Yes sir I got superpower. Yes sir I'm a you're ready, is what I deserve. I'm craving for that power curve. Tap into a drop, never gonna swerve. Yeah, I got 1 minute to be another on the way. The drum rolling like drums on every strike. Dragons run away, cause I can't hear the slide. You know I'm so loud, it's just my
Two portals beside me, but we always take a rest. I've never been the kind of guy to watch it on the sidelines. I hold you shadow bind, I'm rocking that cool knot. If you try to walk to me, better be on my side. I got that Nara in me, 6 pin in the ground. I got that shadow cloak on lock, not making the sound. Say I'm not hard to find, I'm so yet to be found. Raised up in the shadow, but you know I'm bringing right now.
As you fight to be a help to all your friends, well, did you Phoenix? Well, do you have potions? And when the king calls you out on your Hakeem, do you know it? You'll survive.
I'm sure you're my mission, my own definition. The books and I'll drop them all. And I'm sure you're my mission, a heart full of fire, and I need you full of
They keep on calling me time on that ass like behind in the tail of your life.
Yeah.
You shouldn't sit in my sides. Don't put your heart on flat lines. When I fire and nothing survived, please don't act all shy and surprised. They be like, that's so mean. Who let you use these cheats? I rock it off RPGs. Boomer like seniority. Run it back, a running man. Try soul goes hard, here comes again. You run out of time cause I'm really handy. No humbling, I just bone my hand for your punishment.
I travel so far just to find a home. We like years apart, but I won't lose hope. There's more to the stars than the things we know. I feel in my heart that I'm not alone. When darkness surrounds us, where do we go? I can't hear a song, not even my own. But I feel in my heart that I'm not alone. We are in top of my tears. I'll sing it for the words I wanna read you. I'll sing it for the deep I need to. If every pixel joins into a straight line, so can all the sound live on a starlight. I'll sing it for the words I wanna read you. I'll sing it for the deep I need to. If every pixel joins into a curved line, so can all the sound connect. Music yours and mine. 時に振り返って帰り見ながら光輝く未来目指す Keep your dreams 달콤한 초콜릿 아이스크림처럼 녹아버리는 시간
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, 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 good. I'm feeling good. 在感觉就像在撞撞小鹿乱撞，撞撞撞小鹿乱撞。那声音 brim bam bam brim bam bam brim bam bam boom， brim bam bam brim bam bam brim bam bam boom， brim bam bam brim bam bam brim bam bam boom。
Unfortunately, I will not elaborate too much more on this event, as this hurt a lot more than it helped in hindsight. This was a positive experience with so many folks I got to work with. However, as mentioned prior, this had become somewhat of a soured bundle of memories due to some individuals that severely violated boundaries and have spread misinformation regarding traumatic experiences. I will let the team speak more about their favorite moments as they participated in helping this one run along more smoothly. What were some of your favorite moments about Mabinogi 2025?
With Mabinogi 2025, it was a lot of fun being involved, specifically with the song Climb, and getting to lend my voice to a parody song, which admittedly is a little out of my wheelhouse, but it was still a lot of fun to do.
The Light in the Abyss theme was also connected to me on a deeper level. I knew that regardless of what award I got, I wanted to write a speech that reflected my feelings and gratitude I had for everyone. I really didn't think I would receive Creator of the Year, and the speech you made for me will always bring me to tears. And the MMD you made was absolutely stunning. I'm so sorry you had to force quit the moment I joined call that one day. I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Nightbringers really brought me out of my comfort zone, but I'm so glad to have been a part of it.
Hearing from my twin Fi was something I never expected, but will always treasure. Immortalizing the moment Lumina drops meteors on unsuspecting NPCs is a close second. She'll certainly show you what a militia is.
For me, I was really moved when I won an award, even though I was so new to the community. I felt really welcomed.
Oh yeah, I won an award at this one, which I got to keep my monopoly on it too. I shall forever be the Pocket Saint. Unless Winters decides to take the award out, and then I shall be left with... Wait. No, that would still be a monopoly on the award. Win gift! I want to have a word with you.
How much I wish for another better, happier, brighter future. Here I am at the gate I stand. Dear old times, I've made up my mind. How much you must have suffered, Lord. Figure one day, forward, sincere, manners. We are at the fated land where you want me there. Round and round we go, holding on to pain, driven by our egos, feelings untold, spinning our own visions of the past that you could never know. 'Cause I know I must be the reason why you have given up your smiles, and the hope inside your eyes have been stolen. I must be the reason why you must tell me all these lies, wishing you a better life without me by your side. The message has already been said through patches of violet. How much we must have diverged. Hello, goodbye, goodnight. I'm here, goodbye, waiting. Here we are. It's a final chance. With your hand, what must be done? Delete. Delete. Delete.
Murder Mystery ended on episode 9. This wasn't something I wanted to do, I just became increasingly burned out as a lot of really neat portions of this project got cancelled. If you were around when it got announced, there were plans to collaborate with the CMs and GMs to participate as victims, and a part of the greater storyline of what was supposed to be the canon Season 3. The original plan of Season 3 was to demonstrate why some of the most powerful Molestians chose to forego attempting to stop the reincarnation of Dion. This was ideally going to be a flashback season of revisiting the events when some of the community moderators, CMs, and GMs, who are under an in Murder Mystery universe guild called the Watchers, had found an artifact that washed ashore that contained an innumerable amount of old memories. Through the gift Molestians have of seeing flashbacks, they obtained the coordinates or a rough idea of the location of the newly arisen island. With this in mind, they sent only the strongest to investigate, which led to some very bizarre circumstances. I will relate to you the story as it was intended to be told, rather than the stitching that happened with Episode 9. While I'm extremely proud of Episode 9, my burnout stems from 4 pre-written episodes falling through the wayside. The current iteration of Episode 9 that exists stems from a rushed rewriting of certain parts in order to make sure the promised episode was delivered after asking for participants. E.R.G, a commanding officer of the Watchers, was murdered aboard a ship as they had set sail for the island. Aboard that ship was the Watchers Guild commanding officers, Arcelia, Elebon, Cuckoo, Molestians who were summoned there, Firelight, Time, plus Lumency. A few elves were summoned, Mike, Umbra, Atrata, and many additional hired hands for assistance in tackling the return of the goddess. There also was a detective that was hired to come aboard this expedition in order to decipher how the goddess was in fact able to return. She was not a Molestian, but rather a common folk from a failing detective shop. Hired, so in the unfortunate event that she did not return, no one would care to remember. Her name was Rose. There was a meeting that morning where E.R.G presented to everyone that as they got closer to the island, they would need to be very attentive of other crewmates, as the goddess is known to have the ability to puppeteer those with hearts who lack conviction. E.R.G noted that in the event any non-Molestians were possessed, the objective would be to subdue them. E.R.G unfortunately noted that if any of the Molestians were possessed, that any measure of force would be authorized, as it would be difficult to gauge the threat in such a small moment of time, where decisive action would be needed. That would be the last time anyone saw the commanding officer. Later, Firelight would start showing some brief signs of possession and did attack the commanding officer before regaining consciousness. Firelight was then voluntarily admitted into the boat's cellar, and was to stay put until they could determine he was no longer being affected by the goddess. It should be noted, Firelight is the only one the goddess so far has been unable to control directly. There is additional story content there, which I kind of briefly mentioned earlier. It's not elaborated much in Season 2, but to recap again, Violet offers Firelight a deal on Dion's behalf in order to get him to go along with the games. She does this later upon seeing him return to these events in the future, despite circumstances. With Firelight not being an option, the goddess takes a different approach, however, and she possesses Elebon, someone who has been uneasy about the idea that he may get possessed and hurt friends that he cares about. Unfortunately, this uneasiness is what makes him susceptible, and Dion doesn't hesitate to take that opening. Controlling Elebon, he gets massacred in her cabin, having been bashed with every single piece of furniture in the room. Dion releases the control on Elebon just after the kill is confirmed, and Elebon is left to confront the fact that he is the killer with no control over his actions. He flees the scene, in a panic, attempting to frame Firelight as the true killer, not wanting to fully accept the fault as he had no choice in the matter. Detective Rose, along with the cooperation of the crew, eventually figure this out, and Elebon is held in the cellar to ensure that he does not get possessed again. The Molestians aboard speculate whether or not E.R.G would return right away, or if it would take some time. Unfortunately, collaborations fell through due to disagreements with management and not wanting to overburden the GM's schedule. There was not an option to move this to a later date, and that's okay. I think unfortunately translations and trying to convey a murder mystery series that doesn't take place in game was not what KR was looking for in terms of representing Mabinogi and their staff over in NA. I wish this had been relayed to me 6 to 7 months ago when I sent the initial emails, but alas, everyone is busy. I understand that it happens. Due to this cancellation, though, Elebon was swapped out for Atrata. In the initial design of this, Atrata was supposed to be the sibling who remained calm, and Umbra was supposed to be the one who was distraught. Why, you might be asking? Well, Violet, before she became the puppet of the goddess, was known as Azit or Azi. She was an elf with black hair that lived in Philia with the rest of the elves. She was married to Mike and housed two of her closest friends, Umbra and Etrata. The reason for this being they were all elves with black hair, and the village very much wanted to kill them all, believing the omen that any elves with black hair would bring ruin upon their lands. Given that there were 3 elves, this was becoming a very unruly situation. We get some flashbacks in the form of mementos that found their way onto the boat. In the original concept, Mike would be leaving on an expedition requested by Castanea. Ozzy would beg Castanea to not let him go, as she really needed him to stay, as secretly Ozzy was pregnant, and Mike would miss the birth of his child. Not to mention, if the child was born with black hair, said child would be killed. Castanea denies her request. Ozzy then begs Mike, after he gets back home, to please ask for an extended period of time off, as she reveals that she is pregnant. Mike agrees, and rests, as he's still injured a bit from the previous excursion. Around this time, Ozzy and Umbra were talking about dreams, Umbra expressing his desire to travel and become a musician. Meanwhile, Ozzy expressed that she wanted to settle down with Mike and have a family, however, still keeping the secret from Umbra. There also was an instance where Ozzy was looking for Etrata later after Mike's departure, as she was needing assistance due to becoming quite ill during her pregnancy. Ozzy discovers that Etrata has secretly been seeing a giant that presumably she is in love with. The two agree to keep their respective secrets, Ozzy sharing with her best friend that a child is on the way for her. In the current concept of murder mystery, most of this stayed true, except Ozzy doesn't share her secret with Etrata, rather deciding to keep it. This causes her great emotional distress, as she couldn't see the reason why Ozzy would make the choices she would in the future. This distress makes her susceptible and the killer in the current timeline. Umbra, meanwhile, is trying to stay stoic and strong for his sister. In both timelines, Ozzy later receives a letter from Castanea declaring that Mike is dead. Castanea, noting that Ozzy is starting to fall extremely sick and fearful this is some kind of plague, hoping that this is enough to cause distress and accelerate Ozzy's sickness, to deal with her, as one would. Ozzy opens the letter and reads it aloud with Umbra present, before she promptly crashes on the floor, fainting from the distress. Etrata is summoned, and both of them are unsure of how to help comfort her. Part of this was revealed in episode 9, some of it heavily implied from the season 3 trailer, and would have been revealed directly what some of these missing conversations would have looked like in a later season. To which, the season 3 trailer is also supposed to be season 4, a reminder that things got cancelled and changed. The original song was supposed to be Compass by Millie, and be a representation of the hopelessness of being possessed, and that this is a repetitive cycle that will never end. These episodes never aired, so I will reference the original plans and concepts of what these were supposed to look like. Episode 10 comes around. E.R.G's body was escorted by a smaller vessel that rendezvoused to pick her up and drop off a few reinforcements. The collective group was at the foot of the mountain itself being surrounded by impassable branches. There were ruins with many inscriptions, markings, and potentially some rendition of hieroglyphics. Cuckoo, being the commanding officer of magical and arcana-related investigations, got to work attempting to decipher what the message was here. The rest of the group took to wandering around the area, after they had set up camp, of course, to find there was a nearby forest of toxic gas, a strange pillar containing an orb, and some sort of ritual grounds with disturbing markings across the floor. The group decides to take a brief respite collectively while Cuckoo is investigating, as there isn't any hefty new leads. Some decide to spy on what Cuckoo is doing. The elves rested the camp from the duress and Mike's distrusting demeanor of the rest of the group. Meanwhile, the others try to figure out a way through the forest of toxic gas, deeming its name the Acid Alleyways. Anon and Lena, played by Illuminati and Lennox, two of the hired hands, are feeling very uncertain about the importance of this mission, feeling extremely betrayed, and as if they were hired to be witnesses to a cover-up of a series of random murders. With this doubt seeping into their hearts, Dion gains control with much more strength due to the approaching proximity. These two are puppeteered to grab a hold of Elebon and act all jovial with him. The two of them dragged him over to the ritual grounds, restraining him and starting to chant in tongues. Elebon, feeling very reminiscent over the guilt of what happened, initially struggled but gave in and let things be as he realized there was no way to match the strength of the goddess, who could manipulate the mind. By the time Cuckoo finished deciphering the hieroglyphs, determining that a sacrifice needs to be made on the markings of the eye, and thus a path between the brambles would be cleared, it is after this declaration out loud, Cuckoo turns, as do the others, to see the bright white light shine high into the piercing sky through the clouds, and the body that laid there evaporating into its incandescence. Rose steps in again to assist with resolving the case, noting that all of the ways these killings have been conducted seem to feel as if the goddess is playing out these murders as a game, and taunt the Molestians. Eventually, once things conclude, they start to embark on the cleared path through the brambles. They find more mementos. This time, an engagement ring and wedding band is found. Mike is struck with horror and agony as he confirms these belong to his wife, requesting to have the items returned to him after they investigate the mementos. We get a flashback of Mike proposing to Ozzy, finding out that they did in fact have an arranged marriage. While in some cases these may be done for political power or strength, Ozzy's parents had arranged this marriage for her protection. Her parents were also elves in the village. Her mother had black hair. Shortly after their marriage was arranged and written in a contract, Ozzy had moved in with Mike, as she was concerned about her own safety. Months after the two were wed in their young adulthood, Ozzy's parents mysteriously died while out traveling for their anniversary. Mike did his best to comfort his wife, promising that his love for her was real and that this relationship was more than just an arranged marriage. It was true. Mike arranged for a funeral for her parents, given that Ozzy's father was originally the general that he served in the Elven army. In another memory, Mike was coming home late one evening to find that his wife was trying to put groceries away in the kitchen. Admiring her beauty for a second, he almost did not realize that there were two men attempting to break into their house. Mike quickly took action and subdued both of these individuals, realizing they are some of the political figureheads of the village. With complaints to Castanea, Mike urges her to disregard the omen. That much time has passed since then, and there is no use fear-mongering it. Castanea makes Mike a deal, a promotion to her private army, including a pay raise and resources to protect his wife, as long as he stays quiet and minds his business about her ruling. Begrudgingly, he accepts, as he knows there is a conflict with the Giants that may spring about another war. The final flashback we receive is one where Ozzy is smiling at him, raising his face with her hand. She said, and I quote, "As long as you come home alive, I won't be mad at you for how long you are away. But if you scar your handsome face even a little, I'd never be able to forgive you." Very brief, but Mike felt embarrassed when this was notated in the expedition notes, obviously. Atrada, Umbra, and Mike are all disturbed that somehow Ozzy may have in fact survived her encounter with the rogue goddess. There's a lot more sympathy for Mike's anger, as he details that Castanea said Ozzy was kidnapped by the Giants when he returned to the village. Atrada and Umbra both detail that Ozzy just ran off one day, but Mike admits that he didn't buy their story the first time around because no answers led to her true whereabouts. There is technically an alternative version of episode 10 where Time was the victim, but admittedly, while this was my work and it was still something great, I chose not to air it out of heartbreak for what the series was supposed to be. But all you really need to know about that is that Piss Holy was canon. Having passed through the brambles, the group now down Gig and Elubon, it was up to RC and Cuckoo to pull through in leading the expedition. They arrived at a seemingly desolate village, with two individuals there waiting to greet everyone. It was a husband and wife, relaying to the group to guide them safely up the remainder of the mountain if they could spare them some food. Mike offered to give up his rations for the remainder of the expedition if it sufficed these folk. However, the natives said that it would not be enough. Atrada added to Mike's offer, denied again. Umbra even offered as well. They still said no. The natives then pointed at each of them and said they wanted one individual for a meal that would be a delicacy. The group was frozen still in horror, never in their right mind suspecting a cannibal native tribe. The natives said they would allow the group to stay for one night, but come morning, if they're not gone, they will choose who becomes their meal. The expedition crew went to rest. There was no chaos in the night. Well, who am I kidding? Of course there was. During the night, when everyone was having their conviction shaken at the thought of waking up to become the meal of some cannibals, Theon struck her puppeteering magic. Umbra, Plus, and Time were being puppeteered to slowly drag RC over to the rundown courtyard. Poor RC, a deep sleeper and none the wiser, later awoke to being boiled alive. She started screaming violently and thrashing about. The native couple emerges from their houses and starts to dance around the pot, chanting in tongues, similar to Anon and Lena's verbiage prior. Then, what we thought were desolate houses is where many children and teenagers emerged from the houses nearby the couples. Suddenly, there was a rather large village of people chanting around this great big pot. The spell wore off of Umbra, Plus, and Time, returning to where the others were horrified of what they had just done to RC. She then became a meal for the natives, and they agreed to escort the group up the mountain. Detective Rose resumed investigations on what happened after they left. The group collectively accepted this was becoming normal now. Not the cannibalism, but just all the nonsense. Went through the usual proceedings, as they were supposed to still for investigations. When asked for their reasoning of why they lost conviction in overcoming the goddess, they all expressed concerns about whether or not the group could truly defeat the goddess. Cuckoo, being the last commanding officer of the Watchers present, sends out a carrier pigeon requesting Mulan's attendance to arrive and assist. The seed of doubt in his heart being sown, the last of his comrades that were currently present. The group finds another memento on the ground, this one being a bracelet that belonged to Ozzy. Mike was now starting to lose his more stoic demeanor and seemed to be trying to hold in many emotions. Atrada revealed this was a bracelet she had made for Ozzy. She showed the group that she had a matching one. It was a handmade gift. One memory shown is when Atrada and Umbra moved into the village a while back. They were bullied relentlessly and harassed by the elders, in some cases attempting to physically harm the two. Umbra, attempting to shield his sister from an incoming attack, was surprised when the slash of a knife never connected. Ozzy stood in front of him, using her status as the daughter of one of the military men to place some fear into the elders of the village. Ozzy later invited the two over for dinner and tea, where she would introduce Mike to them. This would happen on a weekly basis for a little while, until Mike offered for the two to take over their guest bedrooms in the manor. Ozzy later thanks Mike for agreeing to house them, as she wouldn't want any ill fate to happen to them over some illusion of a rumored bad omen. Mike agrees and adds that it's nice to have more friends in the village. Another memory shown is Atrada tending to Mike's wounds from a battle that happened a while ago. Ozzy is helping bring multiple different supplies in, however long ago this was. Mike was at that moment in a really bad condition. The two spend the whole night staying up, changing bandages, getting more ice for the wounds, washing the bandages, the list goes on. Mike in the present day is again embarrassed by the report. Atrada seems to laugh about it and adds that Umbra was nowhere to be seen, as if to imply that he's lazy. Umbra sheepishly admits he wandered up one of the sand dunes in Philia and was playing a serenade on his mandolin, singing to the open air underneath the moonlight. Then the final memory is Umbra finding Ozzy, emerging outside from the Longa Desert ruins. She excitedly declares that she may have found an ancient instrument within the ruins that she thinks would be neat for Umbra's instrument collection. Umbra follows Ozzy down into the ruins, and they wander down a couple hallways. Ozzy quickly rushing ahead and getting separated from Umbra. This memory quickly cuts short as it seems like she fell over. Umbra in the present day seems frozen in horror when the memory is notated in the expedition journal. Mike tries to console him and ask what happened, but Umbra couldn't bring himself to speak. I didn't quite write it in this video scripted here, but there is an entire sequence that is shown in the actual main trailer in which this event happened, but it's more like the after parts of this event, because what ends up happening is these two kind of go down into the ruins, and then Ozzy does run ahead. She trips and falls and kind of gets surrounded by a lot of the, the little desert guardians of the dungeon, which obviously is Castaneda's little private army of menaces and spirits or whatever. I always forget what they're technically called, but basically the elves that lose their memory and then become like faded away desert wanderers. But when Umbra gets to this like fork in the road in quotes, in the Longa Desert ruins, on one side he sees Ozzy being surrounded, but on the other side he sees Atrada with a giant that, given what the elves are kind of told about the giants, it seems like the giant might be trying to hurt Atrada, or maybe trying to kind of lure her into a trap. So Umbra is left with making the decision of, do I save my friend or do I save my sister? And understandably, Umbra goes to choose to save his sister, but obviously Ozzy, not knowing what's on the other side of the fork in the road, sees this as Umbra is just leaving her for dead. That is kind of why Umbra can't speak to Mike and explain this to him, because Umbra is now realizing how this looked. After Mulan arrives and meets up with the rest of the group at the peak of the mountain, there were many preparations taken to figure out how the assault would go down. The entire group takes a step onto what seemed to be a rather large courtyard, everyone with their weapons readied. Dion stood with a devious grin on her face and laughed. Behind her emerged three women, one dressed in blue, another in purple, and one in white. The group comes to realize that, in fact, Dion and Ketch are back. Mike screams out his wife's name upon recognizing she is the woman in purple. Violet's eyes flicker as she looks over at Dion, whom places a hand before her. As planned, Cuckoo attempts to swiftly get behind the goddess for a brief sneak attack. However, the puppet in blue quickly stops him. Dion then asks Violet to prepare for her a needle, to which she starts doing immediately upon being asked. Dion then flicks this into Cuckoo's forehead. With a couple twitches and turns, new wings grow out of Cuckoo's back, and additional ones form around his head, as if completely turned into another being. Dion, now smiling with utter confidence as she looks towards the group and waves her hand forward, eliminate them. Mulan immediately steps forward, having known Cuckoo the longest, and decides to take the confrontation solo. Firelight plus in time maneuver to confront Dion in the state she's currently in. Mike takes to confront his wife solo, not allowing Atrada or Umbra to assist with the matter. The rest of the hired mercenaries choosing to gun for catch. A mysterious man appeared out of nowhere and seemed to have stepped in to deal with a woman in blue, although no one knows where he originates from. The mercenaries managed to actually deal proper damage to Catch, as she has to step back to retreat, otherwise she will be faced with certain demise for her transgressions and allegiance to the rogue goddess. Mike going head-to-head with his wife is quite difficult. In not wanting to hurt her, he tries to reason with her. And I'm gonna do cringe voice acting, so forgive me, because this was written like a fanfiction, because I didn't get time to properly write it. You can come home now, Ozzy. Their swords clash as she looks at him with tears in her eyes, despite her face expressing anger. You were dead. We had a funeral for you. The two pull back their blades, and Violet seems to start shaking her head a bit, taking a knee for a brief second. Castanea lied. She lied to me. Violet dropped her weapon at this moment. Mike approached her carefully and reached for her hand. Now there were tears in his eyes. She lied to me too. The two looked at each other for a brief moment before she threw her arms around him and started to sob. I'm sorry. I ruined our happiness. I thought you broke the promise. Mike shook his head and sighed. She has the promise of your being, doesn't she? Before Violet can even actually mutter a proper reply, she starts to twitch violently. Mike watches as the ruby in her eyes fades once more to a violet hue. He holds her tighter, as if somehow a hug would actually fix that. Violet takes the sword she dropped and pushes it upward through their embrace, breaking free and now scarring his face permanently. She was no longer in control, and Mike would have to hope that he could somehow bring her back to her senses. The two resumed fighting. The mysterious man managed to seemingly win the duel against the woman in blue. She retreated into the grand castle behind them. The massive group of Miletians and mercenaries were beginning to fall one by one against Dion. Only Firelight plus in time were still standing, the three of them injured a bit, but attempting to stand their ground, knowing the other fights were still commencing. There was just no way this battle would end without one side collapsing in its entirety. It seemed like the tides were in favor of the expedition, though, or so Umbra thought. He watched as his sister helplessly tried to provide as much medical aid as possible to the wounded, along with the other medics, witnessing Ozzy slash Mike's face with her sword, especially remembering the words from the mementos earlier. But if you ever scar your handsome face even a little, I'd never be able to forgive you. Umbra looked over to Cuckoo and Mulin for a brief second, remembering the transformation he'd undergone once Dion got a foothold in his mind. Cuckoo right then, as if time itself had slowed down somehow, pierced Mulin with a feather in the shape of a spear. One blind spot. That was all it took. Umbra, filled with overwhelming dread, cried out to the god of love for the safety of the expedition, his friends, the people he thought of as family, for forgiveness for his faults. This was my fault. Please let me bear the consequences, not them. There was a flash of light that consumed the battlefield. Everyone was blinded by it. In that moment, a warm hand extended to Umbra, as if this was the divine intervention he was seeking. May the love for those you care so deeply guide your soul with strength. Once the light had come to, Umbra found himself in a haze. Everything looked different, and he wasn't feeling quite the same way he had used to. Looking up, he could see Ozzy's face, or rather Violet, who she became. She was holding a short wand and seemingly perusing through memories. Umbra could see many images of memories. Meeting his gaze for a brief second, tears were welling in her eyes. This isn't your fault. This was mine. You and I will lose all of our memories. Please forgive me. I wanted you to live, in the hopes that you may recover our memories. But for now, they'll be gone. Umbra couldn't even muster up any words before she started chanting in tongues. Little by little, every single memory they shared, the faces of the people in his life, the life that he knew slowly started to unthread itself in the weave of memories. She later transported Umbra to a field in Maka, providing him with a backpack of supplies and the mandolin that she had stolen from the Longer Desert ruins. A little letter left in the bag. You'll have to make a name for yourself, as I'm forbidden from giving you your previous one. Thank you for your sacrifice. Because of you, your sister and my husband may live. I hope one day you can forgive me for my selfish actions. I only sought revenge for my husband's death. I hope you can still be as happy and as jovial as you were in your previous life. Sincerely, Violet. Meanwhile, at the castle on the mysterious island, Violet was now placed on the table, and the woman in blue was smiling gleefully above her. Now you can receive Mother's gift just as I have. Freedom from your burdens, Violet. You should be grateful. Tears streamed down Violet's face as every memory she ever held dear, the very reason she ended up in the circumstances, was going to be erased from existence. She thought Umber betrayed her by choosing to go save his sister back in Longwood Dungeon one fateful day, mentally cursing herself for choosing the goddess instead of trying to fend for herself or simply just letting herself die in the dungeon. This fate is worse than death, as she will cease to be or cease to have any shred of who she once was. Unfortunately for both of them, upon returning from the expedition, everyone was ordered mandatorily to place their memories of the events into mementos to forget about them. The memories shattered the conviction and confidence of many Miletians, and this was going to disrupt their daily activities. One Miletian chose not to do so, Lumincy, and she later went insane because of this, disappearing for an extended period of time. Atrada chose to live in silence, having Castanea alter her memories to think that her brother died and that Ozzy passed away. Castanea forced Mike to do the same, manipulating his memories while he was asleep one night. The village held a funeral for both Umbra and Ozzy, Mike being forced to grieve his wife again, now having a scar on his face, but not exactly remembering how it was obtained. And this was the end of Season 3! This is the only remaining fleshed out season, as the future ones were only gonna work towards the end of the story. Season 4 would reveal that Itzay was the next puppet, forcefully turned by Dion as she managed to attempt to sneak onto the island, but eventually got clumsy and got caught, which sounds about right for me. Through communications from the other gods, witnessing Itzay's attempted heroism, this would be relayed to other Miletians. In Season 5, the puppet we would confront is Silas, whom is rather convicted to her mother. But through stitching her memories back together, it would be revealed that the guy in the tutorial, Cyrus, is in fact her twin brother, and these two would be reunited. Silas would then agree to help the fight with Dion, with Season 6 being the final nail in the coffin, where the final fight with Dion would unveil, and depending on the success of cases solved, information put together, etc., would determine the ending of the story. In a perfect world, Dion was defeated and all the puppets would be released from control, the memories returned to their original owners, Violet returned home with Mike, Castanea was overthrown and a new leadership was established, Bard and Atrada had a conversation, and they both have a nice reunion, forgiving each other for the choices they made during this excursion, Bard letting her know that he still wishes to travel and hear stories, but that he would visit and share them with her. Silas and Cyrus were reunited, and the two went off into the Divine Realm to cause trickery and foolishness amongst the gods again. Sakura got to see her mother again, as her mother had become one of the servants of Dion. Violet brought Firelight's other half to Aaron, and in return Yahtzee was released from the Slaw, encasing he was placed in by Firelight. Violet was reunited with her son, and now being introduced to his true father, Ike, Manon lets Mike know that he cursed the child to be his own, as he was being played in Dion's game. Mike embraces Yahtzee as his child, and is just happy to have his family back. The end! Woo! It's over! Yay! That was basically the skeleton ending, or skeleton of what was working towards the ending, but yeah, as you can see, this was kind of a lot of things that got cancelled, but I wanted to show it because I was really proud of this. This was like my insane unhinged magnum opus project that I really loved.
It's time for you to leave, young lady.
I don't think I'm quite ready to leave just yet.
You know all things must follow the flow of change eventually.
May I be permitted just one more night to live the illusion of the dream?
I can grant this wish, but after tonight, it's time for you to move on, young lady.
I only need one more night to have my peace. Thank you.
over here. I want to share something cool. Aw, don't be shy. I promise it'll be awesome.
could be there for you. Yeah, I can be there. 솔직한 말을 원했거든. 저도 기다려. Party all night. Yeah, get this party started. 눈 감아 있을 테니 나를 찾아봐. 넌 아마 이리저리 헤맬지도 몰라. You're going crazy. 끈적었던 날이 girl. Let's go, let's go. 감당할 수 있겠니? Baby got passion, ambition, 난 보란 듯이 Look at that 온몸으로 느끼는 내 몸짓 Baby got drip, 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 drip Baby got drip, 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 drip君にバレた恋の SOS ずっと胸が苦しいんです早くレスキュー好きなテレパシーに早く気づいて
困っちゃうよね困っちゃったねそれじゃまたねじゃ済ませないちょっと指先ちょんと触れたから分かってるよね運命の人は私なっちゃいましょう幸せに全て見透かして好きにさせて目が溢れていってまつげすらずれちゃいそうな距離でしかも全て探り上げてほらなしの以上の余計なこと言っちゃいそうだな取り切って Don't be too easy
Going up, up, up inside a moment You know together we're going Gonna be golden Up, up, up with our voices You wanna get just so on it Gonna be golden Oh, I'm done hiding Now I'm shining like a butterfly Oh, our time, no fears, no lies That's who we're born to be
Mabinogi 2026 is the final major event that I worked on, and I think it was such a wonderful bittersweet note to end on. Somehow, I believe this one managed to top what 2025 Mabinogi was. 40 award winners, 25 MMD performances with many creators and 3 new parody songs, all of them filled with so much love and so many little Easter eggs. Glen Burna being the theme for this year, so the title was Mabinogi Icebound Reverie. This being the idea of living within the dream of dancing on the ice. Special thank you to Fire and Char once again for making the Reverie look come to life. As always, you both do such an excellent job. This project was the trifecta though. I got to work with one of my favorite MMD artists, Ethelu. She actually created the stage that you all saw many performances on. She recreated the Glen Burna Dungeon Lake, which came out so beautifully and it looks wonderful in the lighting. Thank you so much for everything that the three of you have done. This literally wouldn't have been possible without you. This was my very last award show, as I have handed off the event to Itzay, who I know will bring you even more amazing shows. I just wanted to live in the dream one last time. Thank you for everything that night. It meant the world, and I still get very emotional thinking about it. I'm glad that I lived to see that day, and I hope in the future I can get to do more amazing projects like that again. Thank you for everything, Mabinogi community. What were some of your favorite memories about Mabinogi 2026, guys?
Mabinogi 2026 was an interesting time for me as I was struggling to do a lot creatively. But helping out with the songs and seeing the community was still going strong was really heartwarming to see.
The dances and MMDs looked massive this year. So many models in so many songs. You really worked hard to make sure they all looked awesome. The opening of the Calich Revere place. Sorry, guys, I'm sorry. Calich Revere was stunning, and this version of Quantum Boogie will live in my head rent-free for all eternity.
That Glen Burna stage was so beautiful. And honestly, it was such an honor to get to sing together with Mabinerd.
Mabinogi 2026 was really interesting for me because this time I had joined the team, right? Like I got to be good friends with Itzay and the rest. And I got to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I got to see how much work goes into this event. And it was just so impressive. I was incredibly impressed with how much effort goes into this, and it made me appreciate the whole event that much more. It was very much worth it to stay up until very late to help out. Big appreciate.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, Mabinogi 2026? Ah, yes. I made a speech for this one that could have gone really poorly. Yeah, it might be a good idea to not make an acceptance speech about an award if you don't know if you're going to get it. The end of the show, though, was pretty intense and brought about a lot of emotions.
A few projects that got scrapped are Total Drama Aaron, Tara's Top Chef, and Aaron's Attorney, A Molestion's Revenge. Total Drama Aaron was supposed to be like a parody version of the cartoon Total Drama Island, the concept being to get together a bunch of Molestians and create a fake reality TV show with challenges, drama, and a whole bunch of other nonsense. If you've ever seen the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It basically would just be like that, but in Aaron. Tara's Top Chef was supposed to be a parody of Hell's Kitchen and with a mix of Master Chef on the side, in which different towns sent off their best chefs to compete to become a decorated and recognized chef of Tara. Aaron's Attorney, A Molestion's Revenge, was supposed to be a series of Ace Attorney parodies. The victims from the murder mystery cases were going to sue their killers for emotional damages in a comedic and hysterical show of a courtroom. Since this project got shelved, and I do have some clips, I will go ahead and share them. Shrade is the only one that sent me in clips, and part of that is because Shrade had a rather large workload, so this is only a part of the things that he was supposed to submit. So you guys can enjoy that. Have fun.
Ah, yes, of course. My name is Shrade. I am a resident of Dumbarton. I live in front of the unicorn statue. Oh, you know, it's actually quite funny you're asking me that. I was actually busy hugging the floor of my mansion because, you know, Liz murdered me. I was laying on the cold concrete floor of my balcony. She just left me. Obviously. Oh, alright, let's see. I was on my balcony touching some last minute grass before the party really got started. You know, like any normal person would. That's when I saw Liz come in. And I thought to myself, she's probably just here to say hi. You know? That's totally normal. But then she just started yelling at me for... What was it about? Fanta. Yeah. Fanta? Yelling at me for not having any Fanta. Who drinks that nasty soda anyways? Then she got really aggressive. For like no reason. She grabbed my folding chair and started like waving it around like a mad woman. Then all I remember was being hit repeatedly. Kept being bashed. Like, Liz? Hello? Not even strong enough to one-shot me to spare me the pain. Just kept going at it over and over. I tried to block some of the hits, but I got so exhausted after a while. Eventually, I blacked out, presumably dying? I did hear time calling out to me before blacking out. I heard, "I'm sorry, honey." Honestly, I felt very betrayed and low-key slightly very scared of Cherith. Now may heal my physical damage, but not my emotional damage. I will never ever trust Liz again. Ah yes, with pleasure. It's that pink maniac right over there. She looked normal. So, essentially crazy. Her eyes looked abnormally purple though. I assumed it was the Fanta possessing her or something. I don't know. Just a whole lot of tasty trauma. A lot of trauma and character development. I can smell the crazy from over here. Okay, you're entitled to your own wrong opinion. What a liar! Ooh! Ooh! I don't know. Maybe. No. Wait, what? Yeah, right. Yes.
Well, that's the end of the story, Bird.
You mean the closing of a chapter? Itzay, you never truly stop creating.
As your manager of realistic expectations, I'd like to remind you that calling this an end is, in fact, unrealistic.
Well, this is where we all part ways, though, no?
You kidding? I said you're stuck with me.
Windows? I thought we were done with surprises.
No, there's still a few more.
Well, we may have invited a lot of other people to wish you well before your departure.
You guys are all gonna make me cry.
I'm not gonna start. I haven't even opened the fucking. Ah!
Okay.
Hey, Itzay. Just wanted to say thank you and congratulations. I know you've been putting a lot of really hard work into the channel, and it's a place that's been special to other people as well. I know for me, I found it during a pretty difficult time in my life back when you were doing Lobotomy Corporation. Jeez, that was a while ago. And it gave me a community that enjoyed the things I enjoyed and gave me a place to look forward to once I got out of those stressful times. It's good to see how much work you've been putting in, and I know that it's going to come back to benefit you. Keep up the good work. Take care.
You were the first one! No! 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 No, dude, no! 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 You're crying! I'm not crying! I'm just crashing out. That's... Okay, I'm gonna put it back. I don't... No. Do I have a crying toggle? What the? I don't. Do I? No. Okay, I can use that. That makes sense. Yeah. Oh my. Bro, it's only the first. Okay. Okay. No. 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 Get back in there. No. Okay. Okay. The next one is from Blick, and this is audio only. I'm gonna do this. I can. Is this better? I don't know what would be better. Right. Okay. I do it like this. Is this better? If I get rid of the thing on the side. There we go. Perfect. Okay.
Insert Mabinogi owl here, but somebody's causing problems with the servers. Owls. Everyone is fond of owls, except for mice and shrews and Simon Cowles. And you know why they come for you.
Like, this is supposed to be wholesome and cheesy. What the?
There's owls in your gravy, even if you hide at sea. There's owls in the Navy, Simon Cowles. Days are numbered. Owls will get you while you slumber. In the nights they'll come for you and tear your crazy legs in two. 'Cause you're the king of the beavers, the king of the beavers. You cannot deceive us. And
What
you
is he
can't
singing?
fool
Is
us.
this a real song, or are you
The
just making
beavers,
something?
the king of the beavers. You cannot deceive us, and you can't fool else.
Bruh. Okay, we have this one from Plus. Why is it 3 minutes? Oh no, it's gonna be Eurobeat. Okay, I'm like getting scared that it's gonna be like this really sappy message. This is probably gonna be Eurobeat. Okay, I'm safe. I'm safe from crying.
Hey Itzay, congratulations on your 3rd year streaming anniversary. Sorry if I can't make it to the stream, but hopefully leaving this message is okay. But yeah, can you believe it? It's been 3 years. 3 years does fly by when you're having fun. It's been amazing to see you grow over the years, and you've certainly come a long way. Now, I remember back in the early days when you started streaming, it was 2023, the year of the explosion of streamers entering the Mabby scene. Everyone and their dog wanted to stream this game. Come on, including myself. Now, your story on how you started streaming was really special. I remember you said that you were inspired to start streaming while watching others in our Mabby community. A certain guy that gets run over by a truck comes to mind. Now, during this time, you formed your own community through your YouTube and Twitch streams. You've made a lot of friends along the way, and it certainly does take effort to maintain a community and find a creative outlet for your big ideas. Your many, many big ideas. The amount of YouTube videos you have queued up is a scary amount. I think one time you mentioned you had about, what was it? Enough for an entire year?
Yeah, that's true.
That's just too much, man. Now, although you may have decided to step away from Mabinogi, it's undeniable that this game is a place where we've all met. It may be a crusty old game, but for some, it's a place we like to call home, and it's where we've all found each other. Now, during this time, you've lifted up others high through your community events and award ceremonies. I remember when you first approached with the idea of doing a murder mystery, I was hesitant to be involved at first because it was something out of my comfort zone. But I managed to push through it because I wanted to get better at talking and to stop myself from just being by myself and being more involved with others. It's thanks to you, Itzay, I was able to exit the monotony of grinding Albi.
You still grind Albi!
But not as much. I still need cocoons though. Anyways, the community awards you've hosted. Thank you for giving our fellow streamers an opportunity to be recognized for their efforts. I know that it's hard for smaller communities to be known to viewers and to get their name out there. I remember watching the first one and I was thinking to myself, hey, I want to be on there someday. At least as a nominee. Yeah, one day, maybe just one day. I'll be on there.
You won
People know me.
Creator of the Year YouTuber.
No, Megan, no one knows me. I stream at nighttime. Come on. Yeah. Anyways,
That's not true. Plus,
the amount of time. I know that it takes a lot of time, effort, money. MMD crashing. PC needs to render faster. Itzay needs more sleeping hours. Last minute rushing. Please get your video clips in because the event is tomorrow and we need it to give us all a night to celebrate and enjoy some awesome performances. The amount of care and sacrifice you put into all of this, thank you.
oh,
Now, just know that whatever your next goal and whatever your next projects that you have lined up are, we're here to support you as you have supported us.
oh.
And for a personal note, thank you for always taking the time to check in with me. I truly appreciate the time that you make for others. Now, with all that out of the way, congrats again for your 3rd year milestone.
Itzay.
Congratulations.
No! Damn you! You B man. I'm not gonna be feral. I'm sorry. I get very feral and defensive when I'm embarrassed. Okay, this is what happens. I'm sorry. I'm getting bullied. No hashtag Let's Say Fan. Lenny, I'm gonna ban you from chat. Goodbye, Lenny. No. Okay. Next. Oh, dude, no. I don't want to cry. Stop. No. Okay, the next one's from Mabby Nerd. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. Okay. Hey, Itzay, it's Nerd. I'm not the best when it comes to writing things out, but I'm gonna try. I know that moving on to new goals can be heavy, especially when you're surrounded by such a wonderful community of people, but it's important to remember that those same people will no doubt back you up regardless of your endeavors. Sometimes it can feel a bit awkward to do it, but for real, look back at everything you've done or helped organize over the years and be proud, because that's all a permanent part of history now. The events, the streams, all the way to being officially recognized and supported by the Mabinogi team directly. We tell ourselves that it's not a big deal because our community is small, but here's the deal. Nexon ranks among the top 20 largest gaming companies in Asia, and there are content creators much larger who have never had the level of direct acknowledgement, support, or access that you gain from all the love of the game alone. That counts for something, no matter what anyone tells you. And remember that and use it in all the experiences you have to knock your next adventure out of the park. Always rooting for you, your friend, Mabby Nerd. Bro, I'm trying to hold on right now. No! Thank you. Oh gosh, dude, okay. Huh. Breathe, I'd say breathe. Breathing is important. Oxygen is beautiful. From Geek! I did not expect Geek. Okay, I would have never guessed. Hey, Itzay, you might not know how much the gesture meant to me back then, but I have to thank you for your encouragement when you invited me to take part in providing a voice and character for Murder Mystery. You made it possible for me to take the plunge and dive into something new, and I treasured the experience and memories dearly. I don't think I can overstate how much of an impact you've made on the actual lives of people by giving us a chance to take that brave first step. The passion and work you've put into bringing together and celebrating the Mabinogi creative community and giving them a place to celebrate is truly something to be admired. And I wish you all the best going forward. Much love from Geek. Oh. Guys, I don't think I'm gonna make it. No. Oh. Bruh. You guys are so sweet. I'm not good at taking compliments. Bruh. What the heck? From Dream. Best wishes on future goals. Aw, thank you. From Rados. It's a video? Oh no. I'm about to get jumped by the blue man. It's the cat.
Why, hello there. It's me, your
He's subtitled it too.
favorite Reverend Father Ratos. Now, you may have noticed my ass has been missing for a while, but those who have kept faith will be greatly rewarded when I return. Yes, my children. Anyhow, what the hell brings me here today? Well, that's a good ass question. I got something through my door, by the looks of it, another letter. Now, usually when I get these, it's some invitation to somewhere and someone's died, so let me open it up and see who the hell's died this time. One moment. Okay, can I open here? Now, let's see, what the hell is this saying? Huh? What's this? Itzay's retiring? From Mabinogi? Now, when the hell did I approve of this? Surely she wouldn't be making decisions without spiritual guidance. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, heavens! This is what I get for pissing around for almost 2 years. People are trashing the goddamn game. Our beloved Itzay's hanging up with detective goggles, and there's probably going to be no more award shows.
That's not
Although, I will say, those award shows are most certainly rigged, because I should have won 90% of the award.
Motherfucker! You damn Kratos! You always told me you didn't want an award, bro. This fucking guy. No, I love him. Bro, you are so funny. He is so humble that he has said, no, Itzay, I don't want an award. I would rather somebody else get it. This guy.
And I say 90% rather than 100 because I would take a selfless pass on any female-centric reward. Rest assured, if my ass wanted to, I'd win those too. Yes. Anyway, rigged against Ratos award shows aside, I don't know how I'll be able to live with no more murder mysteries. Oh, and what about all the killers? What are they gonna do now? They'll all be out of a job. Oh, the economy's too terrible for this. Oh, well, I guess on this occasion, I will be the bigger person and approve of your hiatus.
Thank you,
yes,
Father
I'm going to approve your hiatus. Now, you might be saying, this is not a hiatus, Kratos. I told you I'm retired. Well, I'm saying it's a hiatus, for I am a reverend, and I decree it's a hiatus.
It's an indefinite one.
I mean, anyone who disagrees with me, for I am Reverend Father Ratos, will become the new first victim of the future murder mysteries. Yes, that's what's gonna happen. And let me tell you, it ain't gonna be much of a mystery, because I'll make sure everyone knows I killed your ass. And your ass will be put in the ground by me. And again, for Twitch TOS purposes, my bald ass don't care no more. Anyway, I wish Itzay well, because they have brought a lot of joy into my life, and your absence will be missed while is provisionally approved. But I will expect your return, much like I expect the return of my hair. But I guess I'm still waiting on that one, yes.
Yeah, your hairline's looking indefinite hiatus.
And I wish you all the best. Yours ever truly, Father Ratos.
Thank you. I'm sorry for roasting you. Damn it, bro. Fuck. I'm like crying and laughing. What the hell is this? Oh my god. I can't breathe. Oh my gosh. Alright, guys, you heard that? I got an approved absent. Man, really, bro? He did. No, he always does. Ratos is so real for that. Oh goodness. Oh no, Ratos is a real homie. I definitely at certain points I have gone to him for some serious advice. He has always been so real. So I appreciate you, Ratos. Thank you for the message. Aki said, Aki! Thank you for all the effort you've put into Mabinogi over the years. It has been a wonderful event that really helps celebrate many different members of the community. Best of luck in your future. Thank you. Oh, Lenny. What the? I'm being bullied. You guys see this? My own staff team is coming after me. Lenny said, "Didn't prepare anything big for this." But I am the kind of person whose love language is quality time. So my continued presence means something. You are a precious friend. 2 beans in a pod from now on into the future and beyond. Aww. Guys, please stop making me cry. Bro, Lumina wrote me an S. Oh shit, okay. Oh no.
I'm fucking cooked now. Okay. Itzay, I know I've said it time and time again, and I will always say it as much as I need to remind you. You have been an inspiration to all of us. The friends that you have gathered, the people that you have given an opportunity to that they would never have even thought of doing before. You have given us so much more. So much and more. You have been a source of inspiration and push for me to tell the stories in a darker tone, voice acting, and go bigger with the editing than just shorts. And to collaborate with the theme, I generally keep under lock and key. Because of you, I've been able to express and comfortably question the creativity I have always held. You always give it your 1000%. Yeah, you are so right. Oh my gosh. No. And if it didn't hurt, it wouldn't mean anything. Just like me, you wear your heart on your sleeve and your dedication shines through, and you truly are a wonder to behold, and I hope you will know that your hard work always shines in the darkest days. I cannot put into more words than that. You know that my heart wishes to say anything more meaningful, but I hope you know with me tearing up already. Oh no, Luby, no! Right now is enough to give it out. I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad to have you as my friend. You have made an impact on my life. I can't wait to see what other adventures we go on as you blaze. Luby, I love you. There's definitely a typo there. Blaze new trails. I love you. No, it's okay. Words are fucking hard, bro. English is a language. Fill our memories with more happy and exciting new chapters in your life. Love you lots. Lumina Seed. P.S. You deserve all the complaints. No! What do you mean, okay? What?
Okay. Instead of a song, which I don't even know why I did that. That was weird.
Dude, I'm getting psyoped in real time. You guys see he edited this fucking message?
I did it because you put me as an owl. But anyways, congratulations on 3 years. Thank you very much for things like Mabinogi and Murder Mystery. Thank you very much for being part of this community. And hell, even if some of those projects didn't come forth, it was still great to be a part of them or to know of them. So hey, I hope everything goes well. I'll be around. You know that.
What do you did? I literally have it on video, my god! Oh my... I'm literally being slandered right now. You guys see this in real time? Message first, then video. Okay. Thank you, Professor. Okay. Hello, Itzay. This one's from me! Professor, you're so sweet. I apologize, I didn't have time to write up something more. No, that's fine! No, you guys, I never asked you, like, that you have to do something. It's just if you want to. It's okay. After all, I posted this about 5 seconds ago. Well, between you. Oh my. Professor, if you're at work, what the? Oh my. Please don't get in trouble. I have a long history of seeing things from the shadows, always watching, observing, seeing communities grow, change, the whole 9 yards. What have I observed here? I see a lot of people that care about you. A true community. Another thing I have observed about communities, they adapt. Even though you won't be doing Mabby content going forward, we're here for you. Oh, no! Whenever you move on to, we'll be here. You're stuck with us. What am I about to click on? Is this a Rickroll? I don't know why I'm so scared of it being a Rickroll. It is April Fool's, bro. Okay, well that was very ominous. I was... Is that Boberto? Is it? Wait! Okay, well... Lick said you are a wonderful person, so you're gonna get all the love and gremlining you deserve. Weird blue. You guys are beans. Okay, well, I mean, okay, if you guys are ready for a look behind the curtain at the next chapter, then, Louis said yes. If you guys are ready, I do have a trailer for the next chapter. It's a bit rough because, there's a couple other things I wanted to do, but, time constraints. I'm gonna put this away now. Damn it. You guys are goobers. I can't. I fucking can't. Oh, no, wait. Oh, did I just rip it off ATL? Is that... Yeah, I did. Okay. Alright. Trailer? I'm going to throw these people into a car, and I'm gonna drive that car somewhere. Insert bleep noise so I don't get myself banned. I love you guys. I say that with affection. I don't say that with... I will throw you in a car, affectionately. Not a fucking derogatory. I hate that stupid meme, bro. No. You do have a lot of drive. Yeah, I don't have a license for that, my guy. Anyways, I'm gonna put myself back down in the corner, because I'm gonna probably die of cringe, because my voice, when voice acting, makes me cringe, so... Going back in the corner, but platonically? Of course platonically. Anyways, just for you guys, I have this very special thing.
So, this is really it then?
No, we're coming with you.
Are you guys sure? There's plenty left more to do in Aaron.
Gotta see what the next chapter is at least, before I decide on that bean.
At least take a peek before we decide. Besides, there could be new papitos on the other side.
Gather the rest of the roost. The Dawn ordered all hands on deck for this contract. Client wants no mistakes and no casualties. We will be needing the whole team.
Yes,
ma'am. Everyone in position?
Ready for liftoff.
Understood. Roger. Oscar Mike, Thunder inbound.
On it.
Affirmative.
Standing by.
Ready.
Ready doesn't keep covered.
Confirmed.
Time to go.
Ready.
Let us begin.